damsel in distress. I'm not your girlfriend or the frightened princess.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the greatest 100 baddies in the history of television. We're focusing on explicit villainy. Sorry, no anti-heroes. There are many spoilers ahead.
I am the one who knocks.
Number 100, The OneArmed Man, The Fugitive. The Fugitive was one of the earliest attempts at serialized storytelling in television history. Though each episode saw Richard Kimball on a new adventure, there was always an underlying thread he attempted to pull: finding the one-armed man. As the elusive figure who murdered Dr. Richard Kimball's wife, he is the living representation of the show's injustice. For most of the show, his presence is implied.
I've done everything humanly possible to find him.
I think you have. I wonder why.
It takes 14 episodes to even get a glimpse of him. Always using fake identities to stay one step ahead, he's a ghost serving as Dr. Kimball's dark mirror. He may be more MacGuffin than character, but his absence adds to the suspense.
Yeah, I killed her. Now I'm gonna kill you. Won't have to worry about you again no more.
Number 99, O Il Nam, Squid Game.
뭘 하면은 좀 재미가 있을까?
재미로 그런 짓을 시켰다고?
O Il Nam is everything you want in an iconic TV villain. Deep emotional investment, shocking betrayals, and sinister motivations. When we first meet O Il Nam, he is contestant 1, a frail, kind-hearted man. While some of that undoubtedly is true, Il Nam is also secretly the mastermind behind the deadly games. He is a master of deceit, able to mask his true nature while manipulating the lives of everyone around him. A rich tycoon, Il Nam grew bored of his luxurious life. He joined the games as a contestant to fill his final days with some excitement and fun. He justifies the brutal games as a means to entertain the rich and expose human desperation.
일남이야. 오, 일남.
Number 98, Wile E. Coyote, the Looney Tunes franchise. Wile E. Coyote is the living embodiment of relentless obsession. Dedicated to eradicating the Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote is a master of brilliant over-the-top schemes. Unlike traditional villains, Wile's appeal lies in his unceasing failure. Often, his schemes should work, but are ultimately defeated by the whims of his writers as they bend the universe against him. His determination and resilience, despite endless setbacks, are oddly sympathetic to a murderous baddie. His Acme gadgets and silent expressiveness give a fun spin to a simple classic chase formula. Wile's failures have provided timeless laughs across generations. Number 97, Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, Gotham.
I refuse to be part of your program.
When we first meet Oswald Cobblepot, he is a low-level criminal whose lofty ambitions have set him up for failure. His bosses have marked Oz for death and send Police Lieutenant Jim Gordon as the triggerman. Gordon's mercy set Oswald on the path to becoming one of the greatest bad guys in TV history. Oswald Cobblepot's growth arc in Gotham showcases his transformation from a lowly, underestimated lackey to a feared criminal mastermind, the Penguin.
Your jacket and hat.
What?
No!
Dismissed by others, Oswald's cunning, ambition, and ruthless will to survive propel him up the ranks of the underworld. His evolution is marked by a litany of betrayals amidst a relentless pursuit of power. His charm and wit get Oswald through when lesser men would have crumbled.
I thought you were behind this.
I'm not. But I thought you might need some help. And what else are friends for?
Number 96, Sue Sylvester, Glee.
Okay.
When Glee first premiered in the fall of 2009, nobody could have predicted the instant popularity of its villain, Sue Sylvester. Her larger-than-life personality is second only to her absurdly relentless antagonism towards the Glee Club. As the cheerleading coach, Sue uses the archetypal bad guy characteristics to brilliantly comedic effect. She is utterly unapologetic, and her savage takedowns of the Glee Club on her quest for high school dominance are as ridiculous as the conceit of suddenly breaking into song.
Any of you take German? I may have to read the owner's manual.
Sue is a master of psychological warfare, wielding a rapier wit and biting sarcasm to defeat her enemies, who, again, are just normal high school students just living their lives. For all her savagery, Sue is also known for the occasional moment of human vulnerability.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to put in a call to the Ohio Secretary of State notifying them I will no longer be carrying photo ID. You know why? People should know who I am.
Number 95, Aunt Lydia Clements, The Handmaid's Tale. One of the greatest parts of The Handmaid's Tale is the deep dive into the many different faces of authoritarianism. As June quickly learns, few of those faces is worse or more terrifying than that of the collaborator.
It is so hard to be good when you've had such a bad example.
Aunt Lydia is the blunt instrument, the tool that a fascist regime uses to break down her fellow women. Lydia is brutal and efficient as she disciplines the handmaids. Her twisted religious zeal shines brightly in her eyes as she makes others suffer.
Let this be a lesson to you.
Lydia is a true believer in the regime's laws and merciless treatment of women. As the story progresses, she's fleshed out as a full-fledged person. We see glimpses of vulnerability and conflict within her, making it all the worse when the savagery wins out.
Honor God, and in return, you shall be honored.
Number 94, The McPoils. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Whoa, Jesus!
Hey, man.
The McPoils are some of a family of bonkers baddies, one of the worst to ever curse a TV comedy. They're a clan of deeply upsetting lunatics who are frequently at odds with the crew from Patty's. Inbred and hilariously unhinged, the McPoils family brings chaos whenever they appear.
So, you guys are gonna dig a hole straight through the wall to the next building. We're gonna go to the roof and escape by helicopter.
Live on!
Here's how it's gonna work.
They have a nauseatingly creepy obsession with milk. And with each other. When a McPoil shows up, it's usually to fulfill some weird vendetta against the gang. Not even the drinks at Patty's can slake the McPoils' thirst for revenge. They are grotesque, unpredictable, and guaranteed to steal the show. You can't look away from the McPoils. They can turn even the most mundane situations into a living nightmare.
What the hell is happening? What is going on here? Are they just screwing with us? Where are the cops?
Revenge! We got you, sucker! Nobody messes with the coils!
Number 93, Slade, Teen Titans.
Betrayal, destruction, revenge. We really do think alike.
In the comics, Slade Wilson, aka Deathstroke, is a deadly assassin, frequently at odds with the greatest of DC's other heroes and villains. His role in Teen Titans also cemented him as a vile, cunning sociopath. Introduced as the Titans' main antagonist, Slade is a master manipulator who orchestrates events from the shadows. He is constantly testing the Titans' strength and unity, cataloging their weaknesses like the world's most evil anthropologist.
Your friends won't find the generators, and they can't see me. They can't see the truth, Robin, even when it's right in front of them.
He's obsessed with breaking Robin away from the team, eventually taking the Boy Wonder on as an apprentice. Even when Robin defeats him, Slade is a constant presence haunting the team. This portrayal of Deathstroke is also one of his most menacing.
I'm real enough to finish you.
Lights out, Slade.
Number 92, Aemond Targaryen, House of the Dragon.
He dares to summon me with haste.
For years, we have collectively learned that the universe created by George R.R. Martin is an ugly, savage place. Nobody gets through it with their lives or souls left unscathed. In a world like that, Aemond never even had a chance. Born into the Targaryen dynasty, Aemond's early life is marked by insecurity and constant rivalry. He learned a hard lesson at a tender age, losing an eye during a confrontation with his nephews. This trauma became fuel for his growing bitterness and lust for vengeance. As he grows older, Aemond embraces his role as a fearsome warrior, riding the formidable dragon Vhagar into battle. Aemond is cold and calculating, more than willing to commit the most heinous acts at the drop of a hat. Number 91, Darth Maul, Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
She knows too much. Destroy her.
Darth Maul was a Sith so badass that he survived getting cut in half, seemingly out of pure spite. Fans of the animated show were introduced to a deep dive into the Star Wars universe and characters like Anakin's apprentice Ahsoka. In addition to new characters and arcs, the Clone Wars resurrected Obi-Wan's nemesis and erstwhile Sith Lord Darth Maul. Maul's path was a circuitous one, going from a man left for dead to a Mandalorian conqueror.
Reborn son of Dathomir.
Brother.
Maul would finally meet his ultimate fate in the show's sequel series Rebels. Deep in the desert of Tatooine, Maul would come face to face with his old enemy Obi-Wan Kenobi for one last fight.
You have a purpose here. Perhaps you are protecting something. No. Protecting someone.
Number 90, Daleks, Doctor Who.
I've come to help. I'm the Doctor. Impossible.
At first blush, a Dalek doesn't appear to be a particularly dangerous menace. It resembles nothing more than a mobile garbage can. But don't let their looks fool you. Doctor Who fans out there know better. This cybernetic race was created by a bad scientist in a war-torn world to hunt down the Doctor and his people. Engineered to be emotionless, ruthless killing machines, Daleks are encased in nearly indestructible armor.
And you are the Dark!
Progenitor activated! Testimony accepted! Testimony accepted!
Their racial supremacy has them bent on universal domination and destruction of all other forms of life. The Daleks are an entire race of malevolent killer garbage cans, and have nearly done the Doctor in a time or two. Number 89, Rumple Stiltskin, aka Mr. Gold, Once Upon a Time.
Snow White and Prince Charming. You insult me.
Number 88, Dr. Leland Townsend, Evil.
9 3/4. And 10. Ready or not? Miss Ling, I have your dinner.
Number 87, Silco, Arcane.
I gave you life, purpose. But you've grown fat and complacent. Too much time in the sun.
Number 86, Moff Gideon, The Mandalorian.
Shall we engage?
No, I'll take care of him myself.
Number 85, Constance Langdon, American Horror Story.
We're the new owners. Who are you?
I'm Constance Langdon, and this is my house.
Some shows peak in their first season, and an argument can be made that American Horror Story falls into that category. Season 1 Murder House introduced us to Constance Langdon, a sinister Southern belle. On the one hand, Constance's life was a Greek tragedy, marred by the heartbreaking loss of her children. Obsession with family took Constance down a dark path, driving her to commit horrific crimes. Murder, manipulation, it doesn't matter. People are just tools or obstacles to her.
You need to pay for what you've done.
Oh, I do. Every goddamn day.
She is more than willing to use the murder house for her own supernatural ends. Her smiles and charms are a thin facade covering her bitter heart, and her return in Season 8 came as a happy surprise to AHS fans.
One more time, he would have just slit my throat. Like the Help.
Number 84, Camino Del Rio, Ozark.
The wonderful convergence between cause and effect, and a bit of good luck. Bad luck in your case, Luis.
Number 83, The Yellow King, True Detective. Number 82, Sosuke Aizen, Bleach.
何あれわかるわけねえだろみんな死んじゃうよ千鶴しっかりして
Number 81, Adrien Vite, aka Ozymandias, Watchmen.
I'm gonna show you something. And after you see it, you're gonna walk out of here and you're never gonna be afraid of big teleporting aliens ever again. Because I'm gonna set you free.
Number 80, Lucretia, Spartacus.
How much longer must I suffer your indignities?
While breath gives life to my command.
In the world of ancient Rome portrayed in Spartacus, political power was a weapon, a tool for survival. Few players of the political game were as capable or as deadly as Lucretia. Armed with a cunning mind and an iron will, she was a master manipulator, the power behind Batiatus, a slave-owning noble. Where Batiatus was a blunt instrument, using violence and sadism to bring his enemies in line, Lucretia used her wits.
I know there have been tensions between us. Yet I see no cause for our current arrangement to fall into unpleasantness. We were such dear friends once.
Despite her elegant exterior, Lucretia could be more bloodthirsty and ruthless than any gladiator. Deceit and murder were the tools of her trade, securing her position in a treacherous, misogynist world. Number 79, Rachel Duncan, Orphan Black.
There's no need to be afraid anymore. He wants you to be part of this.
Number 78, Denzel Crocker, The Fairly Odd Parents.
It's time to do prompts of the Crocker way! So shake your booties to my favorite polka tunes, featuring the musical stylings of yours truly on the tuba. It's Croctoberfest!
Polka's not island-themed?
Get him, Philip.
Number 77, Jonathan Blackjack Randall, Outlander.
I will break you.
Number 76, Angelica Pickles, Rugrats.
Didn't Daddy specifically explain to you about 100 times how important his papers are?
Yes, Daddy. I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. I promise.
Number 75, Alexis Carrington Colby Morell Dexter Rowan, Dynasty.
How do you do it, Alexis?
Do what?
Remain so fresh-looking after all you've been through.
In Dynasty, residents of Denver learned one important lesson. Never turn your back on Alexis Carrington. If you do, you're likely to end up with a diamond-encrusted knife in your back. We first meet Alexis as the ex-wife of protagonist Blake Carrington, a wealthy oil magnate. Alexis enters the series with a vendetta against him, determined to reclaim her lost power and influence.
Now, Amanda is mine, Blake, and I'm not going to let you take her away from me. Not this child.
I have no intention of taking her away from you. But if she is my daughter, by God, I'm going to know it.
You'll never prove it. Never!
She schemes to gain control of the Carrington family fortune, often using her wiles and intelligence to outmaneuver her rivals. Alexis's feuds and fights are iconic, some of the most memorable scenes of the 1980s. Joan Collins was magnificent, able to switch between icy elegance and fierce aggression with ease. Alexis was the personification of shameless, unadulterated ambition. Number 74, Thomas Barrow, Downton Abbey. Number 73, Skeletor, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
So, He-Man, it's just you and me.
It's not too late to call this off, Skeletor.
Number 72, Reverse Flash, The Flash.
Thanks for the resurrection. Flash!
Number 71, Frieza, Dragon Ball Z.
Well, this is it. I hope you're not disappointed.
Number 70, Cylons, Battlestar Galactica. The Cylons were a sentient robotic race bent on utter annihilation of humanity. The series begins with a Cylon sneak attack where they nearly destroy humanity in one fell swoop. Unlike the original series, the 2000 Cylons were created by humans and ultimately rebelled. Their technology included ranks of sleeper agents embedded among humans.
Prove it. If you're a Cylon, prove it to me right now.
I don't have to. You know I'm telling the truth.
You see, stating something as the truth doesn't necessarily make it so, because the truth of the matter is, I don't believe a word of it.
As the series went on, fans were constantly caught up in the viral speculation. Who is really a Cylon? Indistinguishable from humans, these sleeper agents added a new and chilling layer of paranoia and mistrust to the show. Some of our favorite characters ultimately turned out to be Cylons in disguise. Number 69, Harmony Cobell, Severance.
Mark will suffer. You'll be long gone, but we will keep them alive, in pain. You're on.
Decided that we could do better.
Number 68, Ralph Cifaretto, The Sopranos.
Don't give me that look. It was a f***ing horse. What are you, a vegetarian?
Number 67, Petra Solano, Jane the Virgin.
And you are Petra?
Yes, and I really don't need a lawyer.
Number 66, Dr. Doofenshmirtz, Phineas and Ferb.
You see, my plan was simple. Assemble all the best secret agents in one room, and then turn them all into statues for my giant chessboard! Hit it!
Number 65, John Kreese, Cobra Kai.
Hey! You lose concentration of fighting your dead meat.
Yes, Sensei.
What?
Yes, Sensei!
John Kreese, originally introduced in the Karate Kid movies, is a martial artist whose no mercy philosophy shaped the Cobra Kai dojo. As a former soldier, Kreese's harsh and aggressive tactics turn his students into vicious fighters, epitomized by his mentorship of Johnny Lawrence. His defeat in the films does not soften his nature. Instead, it helps to crystallize his desire for revenge. In Cobra Kai, Kreese returns as a more complex bad guy, one severely haunted by his past. He reclaims control of the dojo, reigniting old rivalries and spreading his toxic ideology to a new generation.
You feel angry, John? At who?
The people that put me in this cage.
But you did this to yourself.
Don't be ridiculous. None of it is my fault. I did nothing wrong.
Kreese's ability to adapt, manipulate, and corrupt makes him one of television's best villains. Number 64, Jip Rosetti, Boardwalk Empire.
You must be tired, Mr. Rosetti. That can make a man irritable. You need some rest.
I need 500 cases of rum.
You and your men. My guests at the Ritz.
You think I can't float my own hotel room?
Number 63, Alice Morgan, Luther.
Are you threatening me? Because honestly, I wouldn't.
And why is that?
How come now, really? Because I'd be hurt and angry.
Number 62, Arvin Sloane, Alias.
We acknowledge that you should be admitted as full partner.
Good. Number 61, Dr. Kimberly Shaw, Melrose Place.
What are you gonna do with that? If you call Michael and tell him to get his ass over here, nothing. And if you don't, I'm gonna burn your face so it matches the color of your hair.
Number 60, Magneto, X-Men the Animated Series and X-Men 97.
You still dream of peace with those who would destroy all mutants? Is this your answer? This horror?
The people behind X-Men the Animated Series had no compunction about introducing 90s kids to heavy subjects. One of their favorite characters in this regard was Magneto. Once a victim of ethnic cleansing and genocide, Magneto is determined that his people, mutant kind, will not meet a similar fate.
Like you, I believe that mutants and normal humans cannot live together in peace. The war for survival must begin now, while we mutants are strong and you are still divided.
Unlike his friend, Charles Xavier, Magneto doesn't believe humans and mutants can peacefully coexist. His life was shaped by human cruelty, leading him to believe that mutants must dominate to survive. His ideology, born from pain and a desire to protect his people, makes him a sympathetic yet formidable antagonist. With the success of the sequel series X-Men 97, more and more people have come to believe in a simple truth. Magneto was kinda right.
Good luck to you, Xavier. Now we're even, but we shall meet again.
Number 59, Lucifer, Supernatural.
They call me prideful.
Number 58, Patty Levin, The Leftovers.
I'm gonna let you go. And we're gonna get in the truck and I'm gonna drive you home. And all the bullshit up until now, we're gonna call it even. We're gonna forget that it happened.
I don't forget.
Number 57, Commander Fred Waterford, The Handmaid's Tale.
What if we negotiate?
Yes, what if?
We'd embolden more kidnappings, more commanders being held hostage. Think of the precedent.
I'm thinking of my years of service to the Republic. I'm thinking of my wife and my son.
Number 56, The Lich, Adventure Time. Number 55, Jan Levinson, The Office.
It's Jan.
Oh, dear God in heaven.
A slow, inexorable descent into abject madness is not the first thing that comes to mind in sitcoms, but Jan Levinson is proof that it should. Initially introduced as a competent, no-nonsense corporate executive, Jan's character takes a dark turn as her personal and professional life unravels. She forms an inappropriate relationship with Michael Scott, marked by unsubtle tormenting of the Dunder Mifflin manager with severe emotional abuse.
Will you not do that? It's disgusting.
You know I have soft teeth. How could you say that?
Oops.
As she loses control over her career, she spirals into increasingly erratic behavior, becoming completely unhinged. She is a portrait of self-destruction, and her guest spots provided The Office fans with some of their most memorable moments. Number 54, Lorne Malvo, Fargo.
Is this what you want?
Hey, McMike. Lighten up, huh?
Lester, is this what you want?
Number 53, Joe Carroll, The Following.
Joe Carroll, State of Virginia sentenced you to die for your many crimes. Do you have any final words?
Quoth the raven, nevermore.
Number 52, Bob Leland Palmer, Twin Peaks. Number 51, Count Olaf, a series of unfortunate events.
But how about a diving helmet filled with the world's deadliest fungus?
You don't mean...
That's right! I found the Medusoid mycelium, and I will unleash it on this island unless you give me those 3 orphans and that canoe!
Number 50, Eric Cartman, South Park.
This is another conspiracy by the school faculty! A conspiracy?
Cartman is a character who's only funny because he appears in an outlandish cartoon. If you ever met Eric Cartman in real life, you'd wonder why this violent sociopath wasn't institutionalized. Cartman is unapologetically offensive and self-serving in nature. Introduced as a foul-mouthed, bigoted child, Cartman quickly became infamous for his outrageous schemes and utter lack of moral boundaries.
Nya, 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 nya. I made you eat your parents. Nya, 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 nya.
From tricking a teenager into eating his own parents to leading hate-filled crusades, Cartman embodies the darkest aspects of human behavior. His childlike facade keeps his weak mother in line while he continues to bend everyone in South Park to his will. Cartman's role serves as a satirical lens on society's worst impulses, with a dash of malice and unbelievable humor mixed in.
Your tears are so yummy and sweet. Dude, I think it might be best for us to never piss Cartman off again. Good call.
Number 49, Elmer Fudd, the Looney Tunes franchise.
Oh, hello. I'm a wagged, wubber of the wild and woolly west. Of all the things I haven't got, I white gold the best.
Number 48, Sarah O'Brien, Downton Abbey.
Sarah O'Brien, this is not who you are. My lady, if you could just wait.
Number 47, Red John, The Mentalist.
You probably have a lot of questions for me, huh? We have time if you want.
I have no questions.
Number 46, The Swede, Hell on Wheels.
Get right with your maker, Mr. Bond. As soon as we cut down the horse thief, you gonna hang.
Number 45, Norman Bates, Bates Motel.
What you're worried about.
Norman, stop it!
No, maybe you should stop telling lies about me.
When A&E chose to make a contemporary prequel to Psycho, there were many skeptics. The show, though, became the longest-running scripted drama in the history of the network. It tells the story of Norman Bates, with his chilling backstory fleshed out in deeper detail than the 1960 film.
If you want to know what's really wrong with Norman, you should talk to the person who knows him best.
And that's you.
Of course it is.
The series delves into Norman's deeply troubled relationship with his mother, Norma. Their relationship is less than ideal, leaving serious psychological trauma that shapes Norman's descent into madness. From a shy, awkward teenager, Norman gradually develops dissociative identity disorder. His mother persona slowly takes over as he commits ever more horrific acts. His deep, unhealthy bond with Norma fuels his violent tendencies, blurring the line between victim and villain.
Look at me, Mother. Mother, look at me. Look at me, Mother.
Number 44, Theodore Teabag Bagwell, Prison Break.
She watching?
Yes.
Brace yourself.
For what?
Don't you ever come in my office again unless you're summoned.
Number 43, Mojo Jojo, The Powerpuff Girls.
What? I created the Powerpuff Girls? I'm responsible for their birth? It was me who caused them to be? I triggered the events that led to their being on this earth? I dedicated my life to destroying what I had a hand in creating. I created them. It's all my fault.
Number 42, Al Swearingen, Deadwood.
Who stole the f***ing dope? Sucker! Oh, Jesus.
Number 41, Lex Luthor, the DC Animated Universe.
You see, Superman, I own Metropolis. My technology built it, my will keeps it going, and nearly 2/3 of its people work for me whether they know it or not.
Number 40, Livia Soprano, The Sopranos.
It's nice of you to pick me up for the party, Junior. At least somebody cares about me.
These kids today.
It may be hard today to picture feeling sorry for a murderous mafioso, but fans of The Sopranos couldn't help but pity Tony after meeting his mother, Livia. Livia exerts a toxic influence over him, using guilt and psychological manipulation to control those around her. She is deeply bitter and cynical, using feigned helplessness to mask her emotional sabotage.
The street. It's another pain in the ass.
Livia eventually even tries to assassinate her own son. She is a creature driven by deep-seated malice and indifference, even towards her own family. She adds a layer of familial dysfunction to the show, helping to flesh out why exactly Tony is the way he is.
You excited about coming to live with us, hon? You will be. Trust me.
Number 39, Rowan Pope, Scandal.
You're speaking to a man from the ghetto. You have no idea what you're talking about, you privileged little inkwell prep school Ivy League doctor's son. You ain't no Jesse Jackson. You ain't got nothing to preach. You ain't got nothing to say.
Number 38, The Shredder, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Whoa, who's the dude with the metal face?
They are the turtles. Hamato Yoshi's turtles. They must not discover my technodrome.
Number 37, The Governor, The Walking Dead.
We'll take you back to your people, explain this was all just a misunderstanding. You tell us where they are, and we'll drive you there.
I want to talk to Glenn.
I can't allow that.
Number 36, Aku, Samurai Jack.
Neither he nor the sword had the power to slay me forever, and neither do you.
Number 35, Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
And if I just want to walk out that door by myself?
Then I would dine alone. It wouldn't be the first time.
When Netflix created their street-level Marvel series in 2015, they decided that Daredevil required an epic villain. They chose Vincent D'Onofrio to play Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime. Fisk was a man who learned harsh lessons from his father as a young boy, namely using savage violence to achieve his goals. Though he does want to rebuild Hell's Kitchen, he does so by consolidating New York crime under his banner. The Kingpin is ruthless as they come, with an MCU career spanning multiple TV shows. He is scary enough to leave even an Avenger, Hawkeye, leery of crossing him. D'Onofrio's nuanced performance blends vulnerability with terrifying menace, elevating Kingpin to one of the best bad guys in the history of the MCU.
I will do whatever I must.
Number 34, Clay Morrow, Sons of Anarchy.
This time we've been tracking Jimmy, you knew you were gonna turn him over to this bitch.
He blew up 5 of our men. Jip was his nephew.
I know!
It wasn't his
Sorry!
fault. She made him do it. He
You
wasn't
are
a rat
dead!
Clay.
You hear me? You are dead! Dead!
Number 33, Vernon Schillinger, Oz.
Beecher's in jail. He'll try to hurt the mayor to get back at me. I want you to put the word out, Winthrop. I want Beecher to know. You better not touch a hair on the old man's head.
Number 32, Spike, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
You were my sire, man. You were my Yoda.
Things change.
Not us. Not demons.
Number 31, Lalo Salamanca, Better Call Saul.
What are you doing here? I'm just here to lend a helping hand, you know, make sure the business is running in order. I got a good head for numbers.
Number 30, Villanelle, Killing Eve. Villanelle, played by Jodie Comer, is the enigmatic assassin at the center of Killing Eve. Comer's facility with accents quickly made Villanelle a fan-favorite icon. Despite Villanelle's charm and wit, at the bottom she is a psychopath who never really managed to grow up.
When was the last time you worked?
Yesterday.
Was it a successful mission?
Yes. I shot him twice in the heart and watched the spark drain from his eyes.
Her unpredictability and flair for the dramatic make her as captivating as she is dangerous. Villanelle's complex relationship with MI6 agent Eve Pilastri is a toxic brew of obsession, attraction, and rivalry. Unlike traditional villains, Villanelle's cruelty comes from a place of utter detachment, driven by severe boredom. She wanders through the world, like most of us, trying to discover who she is and how to find joy that lasts.
I'm going to kill you nicely. First. But then I'm going to make a mess of your body afterwards, so it looks worse than it is.
Number 29, Boyd Crowder, Justified.
And you think I'm gonna hand a man over to you to be murdered, like he is what? Some pig I borrowed from you?
You gave me your word.
I got half a mind to kick.
Number 28, Niklaus Michelson, The Vampire Diaries.
Just relax, Elena. I'm not here to hurt you. You're not on my hit list tonight. But you are.
Number 27, Sylar, Heroes.
Hello, Noah. Did you miss me?
Number 26, Yvonne V. Parker. Orange is the New Black.
Misty, we've been together long enough. I don't have to remind you what happens when someone oversteps.
Number 25, Vecna, aka Henry Creel, aka One. Stranger Things.
How did you know?
Like I said, we're alike. You and I.
Dr. Brenner, or Papa, played by Matthew Modine, is the sinister scientist behind the experiments on children. He refuses to let anything or anyone stand in the way of his pseudo-scientific progress. Brenner's cold calculation makes it easy to sympathize with his many victims. One, though, grew to be an even greater menace. Vecna, introduced in Stranger Things Season 4, is the terrifying antagonist behind all the horrors from the Upside Down.
Where others saw order, I saw a straitjacket. A cruel, oppressive world dictated by made-up rules.
Originally Henry Creel, later known as One, he was Dr. Brenner's first experiment in the Hawkins lab. Creel was born with immense psychic abilities, which grew dark and deadly as he grew up. Eleven eventually cast him into the Upside Down, where his body warped and he grew to control the dimension's denizens.
Happening.
Number 24, Joffrey Baratheon, Game of Thrones.
And who are you, boy? Micah, my lord.
He's the butcher's boy.
He's my friend.
A butcher's boy who wants to be a knight, eh? Pick up your sword, butcher's boy. Let's see how good you are.
Number 23, Nina Myers, 24.
Don't even bother, Jack. If you lay a hand on me, you'll be taken off the case.
Number 22, Plankton, SpongeBob SquarePants.
Now, what was I saying? All right. I'm tired of the Krusty Krab taking all of my business!
Number 21, J.R. Ewing, Dallas.
Bobby, you just made your brother-in-law a very wealthy man.
Well, it's not going to break us, JR.
No, of course not. Yeah, that's a rather large field at current prices. You ought to do pretty well on that.
Number 20, Newman, Seinfeld.
Hello, Newman.
Jerry?
Newman is Jerry Seinfeld's nemesis in this iconic sitcom. He's a postal worker whose mere mention by Jerry is often accompanied by vicious disdain. While Jerry is no picnic, Newman is petty, scheming, and bitterly conniving.
It's pretty hot under these lights, huh, Seinfeld? Pretty hot.
Actually, I'm quite comfortable.
Newman's ongoing feud with Jerry is fueled by jealousy and spite, leading to various plots and schemes to undermine the comedian. Despite his often absurd nature, Newman's relentless desire to annoy Jerry adds a layer of tension to a show famously about nothing. Seinfeld is a show known for its weird side characters and cameos. Despite the constant influx of quirky weirdos, Newman will always stand out as one of the weirdest and most hilarious.
Jerry.
Number 19, Negan, The Walking Dead.
Boy, do I have a feeling we're getting close.
Negan makes a dramatic entrance in Season 6 as the ruthless leader of the Saviors. We first meet Negan as he kills off some of the show's mainstay characters by beating them to death. Negan's reign of terror is marked by a strange blend of brutal violence and charismatic leadership. His signature weapon, Lucille, a barbed wire-wrapped baseball bat, becomes a symbol of his control over others.
This is Lucille. And she is awesome.
Despite his cruelty, Negan's savagery is informed by a rich and complex backstory. He brings a layer of dark humor to the show, disrupting the character's dynamics in unprecedented ways.
No, we are not giving up. We have made it this far, so we are gonna see this through.
Number 18, The Borg, the Star Trek franchise.
None have ever been quite so dangerous as the Borg.
Holy shit.
The Borg, introduced in Star Trek The Next Generation, are one of the franchise's most formidable villains. The Borg are driven by a singular goal: to assimilate other species and technologies into their collective consciousness. Their iconic catchphrase, "Resistance is futile," encapsulates their relentless impersonal approach to conquest. The Borg's ability to adapt instantaneously to threats and their absence of individual personalities create an eerie, monolithic nemesis.
We are the Borg. Resistance is futile.
We have already won.
Locutus. Eliminate all assimilated. Target lock. Burn that.
Their invasion of the Federation, particularly the assimilation of Captain Jean-Luc Picard into Locutus, adds a personal stake and dramatic tension to the conflict. The Borg represent an existential threat to all life. Their technology warps your body, and their collective consciousness subsumes your soul. Number 17, Kilgrave, Jessica Jones.
You make me feel something I'd never felt before. Yearning.
Despite being a famously sweet and lovely man, David Tennant pulled out all the psychotic stops as Kilgrave in Jessica Jones. Introduced in the series' first season, Kilgrave is a mind-controlling supervillain. His psychotic powers can compel others to do his bidding, emerging as one of television's most chilling villains.
Let the experiment begin.
Like many Marvel villains, Kilgrave's viciousness stems from childhood trauma. He was the subject and victim of unethical experiments and abuse. Kilgrave grew into a sadist, using his powers to amuse himself at the expense of others. Tennant is able to seamlessly combine his natural charisma with a sense of terrifying malevolence. As a result, Kilgrave is a standout MCU villain.
For every year that you left me alone, stab yourself.
Got him.
Number 16, Megatron, the Transformers.
How ironic! By leading us to this planet, the Autobots have sealed their own doom.
Like many cartoons of the 1980s and 1990s, the Transformers were created as a vessel for selling toys to children. Despite its nakedly capitalistic origins, Gen Xers and elder millennials remember the series fondly. It introduced the world to Megatron and his Decepticons, a being famous for his ruthless ambition and lust for power. As the commander of the Decepticons, he seeks to conquer Cybertron and Earth. His gravelly voice and vicious personality make him the perfect foil for Optimus Prime, the noble leader of the Autobots.
When I'm through with you, Prime, there won't be enough pieces to sweep up!
For those of us born in the 1970s and 1980s, Megatron was one of the more formative villains of our childhoods.
The race isn't over yet, Megatron. Oh, it's over, Prime. You just don't know it.
Number 15, Logan Roy, Succession.
Is 15 equal to 40, pal? Is 15 equal to 40, pal?
No.
No! Good!
The Roys of Succession and their company, Waystar Royco, form a loose portrait of the Murdochs and their conservative media empire. Logan Roy, the paterfamilias of the Roy clan, is a pivotal figure in modern television villainy. Played expertly by Brian Cox, Logan is the living embodiment of cold corporate ruthlessness and the exertion of raw power. His reign is marked by a fierce, cruel control over both his children and the company.
You? Okay. Sorry.
What a shit show. What a f***ing shit show.
Logan's domineering personality does give way to the odd moment of weakness. Still, he is best known for his merciless approach to business and family affairs, driving much of the show's conflict. He pits his children against one another in their contest to ultimately replace him.
I don't know if I'll ever forgive myself. But we will investigate, and we will make sure every victim is compensated and every act of wrongdoing punished to the full extent of the law.
Number 14, Bill Cipher, Gravity Falls.
Oh, Gravity Falls, it is good to be back!
Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls is a malevolent and seemingly all-powerful interdimensional being. Debuting in Season 1, Bill is an enigmatic demon with a triangular shape and a top hat. He's a creature of chaos who desires to alter reality to his every cruel whim. As the primary antagonist in the series, his role is defined by his desire to unleash chaos and destruction upon Gravity Falls. Bill's ability to warp reality, when coupled with his Machiavellian personality, makes him exceptionally dangerous and unpredictable. His cunning and intellect let him exploit the weaknesses of lesser beings. He's a strange and psychotic creature, and one of the most terrifying bad guys to come out of a kid's show.
We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when. Oh, I know we'll meet again some sunny day.
Where am I?
You're in the penthouse suite, kid. The tip of the pyramid. Have a drink.
Number 13, Gemma Teller Morrow, Sons of Anarchy.
Skinny ass bitch.
As a loose adaptation of Hamlet, Sons of Anarchy isn't short on villains on a Shakespearean scale, particularly women. Agent June Stahl, for example, is an ATF agent out to destroy Sam Crow at any cost. Her schemes get Opie's wife killed, ultimately leading to Stahl's own demise when he claims revenge. She is nothing, though, compared to Katie Seagal's Gemma Morrow. Like Hamlet's Gertrude, Gemma schemed with Clay to usurp and kill her husband. That's before the show even starts. Over the course of the series, Gemma's protective nature leads her to acts of cruelty, savagery, and murder. She is more than willing to kill anyone standing in her way, deceiving those closest to her at every turn.
Could you leave all this behind? Your boy, your club. You know I can't make that choice. No.
Number 12, The Master, Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a show renowned for its memorable villains, each bringing a unique brand of peril to the series. The Weeping Angels, for example, are terrifying creatures that can only move when not observed. When they reach a potential victim, they send them back in time and feed on their potential energy.
You stop right there! You are observed! And that is my power over you.
For now, Jericho.
Few of the Doctor's enemies, however, can compare to the Master. Like the Doctor, the Master has been played by multiple actors over the decades. Like the Doctor, the Master is a Time Lord, though one burdened by both a twisted sense of superiority and a penchant for chaos.
Hello, Missy. I'm the Master. And I'm very worried about my future. Give us a kiss.
The Master's relationship with the Doctor is a complex one, with the Doctor often factoring in his grandiose plans for domination and destruction.
I'm asking you really properly, just stop, just think!
Use my name.
Master. I'm sorry.
Tough!
Number 11, Stringer Bell, The Wire.
You know there's dead on both sides, right? There's gonna be a whole lot more if this beef keep up. If the truth be told, there'll be more soldiers in one half than the other, you know what I'm saying?
The Wire was a crime drama that featured a range of complex antagonists who vividly illustrated the show's exploration of systemic corruption. Marlowe Stanfield, for example, evolves over the course of the show into a ruthless drug lord. His cold, calculating vibe belies his bloodthirsty tactics. He learned those tactics at the foot of a master, Idris Elba's Stringer Bell. Bell is one of the primary bad guys in The Wire, extending his influence beyond the street-level drug game.
Money? Is that it? Because if it is, man, I could be a better friend to y'all alive.
As the second in command of the Barksdale organization, Stringer Bell's ambition drives him to blend the criminal underworld with legitimate businesses. He's a sophisticated criminal who manages to modernize and professionalize the drug trade.
Must have done something to you.
Nah, it's just business.
Number 10, Ben Linus, Lost.
My name is Benjamin Linus. I'm from the Home Office.
Nobody from the Home Office has ever come out here.
There's a new man in charge. He sent me.
Sent you to do what?
As the former leader of the Others, Ben Linus was one of the chief mischief makers on Lost, a show chock full of bad guys. The child of a Dharma Initiative janitor, Ben has been a resident of the island since he was a boy. Ben is a master of deceit, manipulating the island survivors with an almost petulant glee. Survival is the name of the game, and Ben is willing to mow down anyone and anything he sees as a threat to his life or his control. He only becomes a reluctant ally to the survivors once his plans and schemes are set ablaze by the monster.
We're finished here, Saeed. Turn around and walk away. Mourn your loss. Get on with your life.
I have no life. They took it from me.
Go home, Saeed. Once you let your grief become anger, it will never go away. I speak from experience.
Number 9, The Cigarette-Smoking Man, The X-Files.
There was a mistake. Will be rectified.
By whom? By whom will this be rectified?
The Cigarette-Smoking Man is the quintessential TV baddie. For most of the X-Files run, the Smoking Man was an enigma whose mysterious presence represented a vast and secret conspiracy. He is a shadowy figure with deep ties to both government and private industry. His calm demeanor and ever-present cigarette contrast sharply with his subtle manipulations of Agent Mulder. His sinister goals are slowly revealed over time. As a member of the powerful syndicate, he is motivated to hide the truth about the planned alien colonization of Earth. He both orchestrates and conceals numerous supernatural events. The Smoking Man influences events from behind the scenes, but his personal entanglements with Mulder bring the two to conflict over and over.
I came here hoping otherwise. Hoping that my son might live to honor me, like Bill Mulder's son.
Number 8, Firelord Ozai, Avatar: The Last Airbender. In a world with supernatural elemental powers, the villains of Avatar: The Last Airbender are formidable enemies. Azula, Princess of the Fire Nation, is a talented and vicious firebender. Her desperate desire to please her father, coupled with her mastery of fire and lightning, lead to a slow but inexorable psychotic break as the show progresses. The danger of the unhinged Fire Nation princess, though, pales in comparison to her father, Firelord Ozai. Voiced by Mark Hamill, Ozai is the primary antagonist of the series.
Why are you here?
I'm here to tell the truth.
Telling the truth during the middle of an eclipse. This should be interesting.
He is a tyrant and murderer, having inherited a war to conquer the known world. Ozai is also a monstrous father. He pits his children against each other and maimed his son Zuko for life.
Please, Father, I only had the Fire Nation's best interest at heart. I'm sorry I spoke out of turn.
You will fight for your honor.
I meant you no disrespect. I am your loyal son.
Rise and fight, Prince Zuko.
Number 7, Arthur Mitchell, aka the Trinity Killer, Dexter.
I want you to disappear from my life. Like a ghost. A really annoying ghost. And you'll disappear from my life? I couldn't care less about your life.
Dexter follows the trials and tribulations of Dexter Morgan, a Miami serial killer determined to ply his deadly gifts for the good of society. A sociopath born into blood, Dexter uses his hunts for personal growth. Each season has a main antagonist, like Oliver Saxon, the brain surgeon in Season 8. Oliver and Dexter spend the season circling one another until only one survives. Few of his foes, though, compare to the Trinity Killer. Expertly played by John Lithgow, Trinity is a serial killer who somehow managed to balance his murderous nature with a family life.
Did you say you were thankful for me, Jonah? What's that?
I did not say I was thankful for you. Because I'm not.
Dexter sees Trinity as a role model, insinuating himself into Trinity's life. Unfortunately, Trinity eventually flips the script and begins to hunt Dexter instead.
I can't believe there was a time I actually thought I could learn something from you.
You think you're better than I am?
No. But I want to be.
Number 6, Ramsey Bolton, Game of Thrones.
You'll always be my firstborn.
Thank you for saying that. It means a great deal to me.
Game of Thrones was a show that did not lack for characters to root against. It featured petty kings, ruthless queens, schemers, plotters, and undead tyrants. In a world full of villainy, it takes an epic level of sadism to stand out. Enter Ramsey Bolton, the bastard son of Lord Roose.
That's it. That's the game. Easy. Ready? Go.
No, you have to run, remember?
Like his father, Ramsey enjoys flaying his enemies and leaving their bodies out as a warning. Mutilation and murder are his favorite pastimes. People are nothing but tools for him. From Sansa to his own father, Ramsey is more than happy to discard people when he's done with them. Unfortunately, Ramsey gets a taste of his own medicine when Sansa feeds him to his own hounds.
They're loyal beasts.
They were. Now they're starving.
Number 5. The Joker, the DC Animated Universe.
Joker here. Greetings, Gotham, and Merry Christmas. I hope you're watching Batman.
After playing the ultimate hero, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill made a name for himself as a villainous voice actor. He is universally considered to be one of the best Jokers of all time. This version of the Joker first appeared in Bruce Timm's Batman the Animated Series.
Yes! Another stunning Joker entrance leaves the crowd speechless. Let's hear it for him, folks.
Hamill continued the role for years across TV shows, films, and video games. This is the quintessential version of the Clown Prince of Crime. Easily amused and even more easily bored, his portrayal brings a mix of dark humor and unpredictable violence that captures the essence of the character. He is equal parts silly and sadistic. The Joker is an anarchist at heart, seamlessly switching between a playful clown and an ominous killer.
Merry Christmas, Joker.
Bah humbug.
Number 4. James Jim Moriarty, Sherlock.
Is that a British Army Browning L9A1 in your pocket? Or are you just pleased to see me?
For over a century, the Western world has been fascinated by tales and adaptations of Sherlock Holmes's dance with Professor James Moriarty, his equal and opposite measure. Sherlock, the modern adaptation of the infamous private detective, gave us perhaps the best version of Jim Moriarty ever seen on screen. Andrew Scott delivers a powerhouse performance as the criminal mastermind bored by the inferior minds who surround him. His high-stakes intellectual battle with Sherlock clearly makes him feel less alone in the world. Jim is brilliant and, like his counterpart, a master of hiding in plain sight. His flamboyant personality is in stark contrast with the staid Sherlock. Despite their differences, both are thrill-seekers who seem to live for their battle of wits.
Ciao, Sherlock Holmes.
Catch you later.
No, you won't.
Number 3. Mr. Burns, The Simpsons.
I've called you all here because I need some honest answers. What is my current financial situation? Great.
I hear great.
All right, well, let's have a look at my stock portfolio.
The Simpsons has had its finger to the pop culture pulse for almost 40 years, showcasing every kind of bad guy under the sun. Still, it's hard to beat old favorites like Sideshow Bob and Mr. Burns. Voiced by Kelsey Grammer, Sideshow Bob is a former TV clown and heady sophisticate with a taste for murder. Mr. Burns, though, has been around since the very beginning. He was an evil oligarch long before hating billionaires was in vogue. He is the personification of corporate greed and malevolence. The billionaire owner of the Springfield nuclear power plant never saw a shortcut he wouldn't take.
I'm looking for something in an attack dog, one who likes the sweet gamey tang of human flesh. Why, here's the fellow. Wiry, fast, firm, proud buttocks. Reminds me of me.
His delight in causing misfortune and his ruthless pursuit of personal gain are a wellspring of conflict and humor. Number 2. Homelander, The Boys.
Sage, who's the leak?
We're making inquiries to process. We're eliminating it.
I assume you know what that is?
In The Boys, absolute power corrupts absolutely, as every superhero is, in essence, a villain in their own way. Power makes them vicious, sadistic, and hateful. However, nobody holds a candle to Homelander. This pastiche of the Man of Steel has both godlike powers and a deeply twisted psyche. His need to be loved and worshipped has led Homelander to murderous excess time and again.
So, what happens if, I don't know, I do this?
His winning smile barely hides a wildly unstable inner life, making him both terrifying and oddly compelling. In Season 2, he meets the love of his life, Stormfront, a nearly immortal Nazi soup who wants to wrangle Homelander in her desire to dominate humanity. She helps to unshackle Homelander, who gets progressively more insane with each passing season.
Yes, there have been sacrifices, but we are this close. There's no more premieres or paparazzi or screaming fans or any of that dancing monkey shit.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Gus Fring, Breaking Bad.
I have to ask, why?
Breaking Bad is renowned for its complex and grounded villains. Take Todd Alquist, played by Jesse Plemons. He's affable, soft-spoken, and completely insane. Todd is a textbook sociopath, discarding and hurting people like they were lint in his pocket. However, Todd cannot compete with Gus Fring. Giancarlo Esposito gave us a masterclass in restraint.
This becomes a much simpler matter. I will kill your wife. I will kill your son. I will kill your infant daughter.
Gus is a cold, calculating drug lord who expertly hides his criminal empire behind the facade of a respectable businessman. His meticulous, methodical approach to maintaining power and control brought something new and refreshing to television. Gus's calm demeanor and ruthless efficiency made him a terrifying presence in every scene.
It's better if I do this myself.
I do this.
Did our list successfully capture the best of the worst? Who's the TV villain you love to hate? Let us know in the comments below.
I'm not a little bird who needs your help to fly. Nope. I'm the bad guy.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from Watch Mojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.